Man, it's Loki Lockdown, and today we're here to talk Charles Oliveira and Arman Tasaryukin. This is a fight that will be unfolding at UFC 300, and this is a very, very good fight. It is a number one contender fight for who will be fighting Islam Makhachev next, and I feel like this is an excellent matchup. I feel like the matchmakers did their shit with this one, and honestly, bro, I'm here to break down all of the things that could possibly happen in this fight and what will most likely be the outcome of this fight. Hopefully, I can get it right. Hopefully, I can make this bet on FanDuel, and I can possibly cash out on, my bet. You know what I'm saying? So, look, for one, we got to know about these fighters. For one, Charles Oliveira, he is like a pure finisher. He has 31 finishes in his fights. He only went to decision 3 times, and, he has a lot of fights. We know that. 34 years of age versus Arman Tasaryukin's 27 years of age. That is a very important factor. Age definitely makes a difference. Maybe, Arman doesn't have as many miles on the clock as Charles Oliveira, and, it's also Arman might be more determined than Charles Oliveira because he has a lot more to look forward to than Charles does. I don't know how long Charles wants to continue to fight, or if he wants to continue to fight after he gets the belt back from Islam, if he gets the belt back from Islam. And basically, we know that Arman Tasaryukin is very, very hungry. He's young. He's been talking about, getting that rematch. He wants it bad. He's very, very much in it to win it. You know what I'm saying? He's in it to win it. But yeah, man, look. The thing about this fight is, it could go a lot of ways, because Arman Tasaryukin is a very, very good freestyle wrestler. He has excellent grappling. He has excellent striking. Very, very young, ambitious, and he wants to claim that UFC belt. Charles Oliveira is very experienced, very good power in his hands, very good striking, and he also wants to get that belt. The big difference is, Charles Oliveira has a mean height advantage and a very, 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 very high experience over Arman Tasaryukin. He has fought a lot of people, the likes of, he's fought Beneil Dariush, he's fought Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson, Eddie. Did he fight Eddie Alvarez? I don't know about the Eddie Alvarez, but yeah, he's fought a lot of people, dog. That's my point. Michael Chandler, etc. And he's won. He's won a lot of those fights. The only fight that he didn't win is Islam, which Arman Tasaryukin also has in common because he didn't beat Islam. And another fight they have in common is beating Beneil Dariush within the first round. They both stopped Beneil Dariush, and they both lost to Islam. So they're sort of kind of in that same level range, honestly. It's like a weird limbo state that they're in. I feel like, for one, Charles Oliveira brings a lot of pressure out of the gate, which will be kind of hard for Arman Tasaryukin, being that he kind of starts a little bit, I don't know if he starts late, but he doesn't start fast. I'll tell you that. He doesn't start super fast. And, all that pressure, we're going to see what that does for Arman Tasaryukin, especially because Charles Oliveira has that power, that reach, that length, that experience, and that fight IQ. But one thing about Charles Oliveira is his defense is very, very poor, and he tends to get very close, which he doesn't need to do with his long arms and reach. But he tends to want to fight in a close, clinched-up scenario, even though he doesn't like to wrestle, which is crazy. He likes to, defend off his back. He doesn't like to wrestle, but he wants to be really close to you, which I don't understand. I don't understand that for the life of me. He doesn't use the full reach advantage that he has, so I don't know if it will be a real reach advantage in this fight if Charles Oliveira doesn't decide to use it. Charles Oliveira, for one, has quite a bit of trouble fighting people like Arman Tasaryukin, at least when it comes to the grappling scenarios, because if there's a guy that's in front of him that is hard to submit, for example, how Beneil Dariush was at first in the beginning of that round, where before he got knocked out, he was pinning Charles Oliveira to the floor, and he was moving around and working his jiu-jitsu and working his just working his game. And Islam, he kept smothering Charles Oliveira and putting that pressure on him and tried to crack him. Will Arman Tasaryukin be able to do the same thing? But Arman Tasaryukin is very, very different when it comes to control time. Controlling, he's not very good at pinning you to the ground. He's great at taking you down and great at making you get to the ground, but can he keep you there? And can he keep a guy like Charles Oliveira, who has so many skills off of his back, to get off of his back on the ground? Unless Charles Oliveira wants to stay there and he wants to be under the vicious ground and pound that Arman Tasaryukin has, which is absolutely insane. He has a great ground and pound, and I don't think that's somewhere that Charles Oliveira wants to be under, especially with the power of Arman Tasaryukin. I mean, he knocked Beneil Dariush out without his foot even being on the ground, so he has a lot of power, and I don't think that's somewhere he wants to be underneath. And Charles Oliveira cuts pretty easy. I don't think that he wants to be in them elbows or just getting ground and pounded and not be able to see. That takes a lot of XP away from you as you're fighting. That blood in your eyes and that what's the name. But Charles is used to that. He has a lot of 5-round experience. He's fought a lot of hard hitters. He's fought a lot of bangers. He fought Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje. And I'm sure that Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje hit a lot harder than Arman Tsarukyan. Being in the fact that Arman Tsarukyan is a lot smaller than them guys. He's 5'7", a whopping 5'7". But he's very, very strong. Very, very strong built. I'll give that to Arman. He has one of the, I don't know if this most, he definitely has a very strong build. That nigga has an 8-pack, fucking big ass arms, big ass legs, big ass everything. I don't know what the hell is this nigga got going on. But anyways, yeah. Freestyle wrestling, that's cool, but Arman Tsarukyan is going to have to change up the way that he approaches taking down Charles Oliveira, just like how Islam did. You can't shoot a bunch of doubles and single legs because Charles Oliveira will find that neck, and you don't want that. And if you notice, Islam was using a lot of judo trips and throws instead of actually shooting takedowns on Charles Oliveira because he knows that threat is so prominent. And when Charles Oliveira gets that neck, it's very hard for you to, it's hard for you to do a lot. It's not much you could do once he gets a hold of your neck. And he almost put Islam inside of a triangle when they first started fighting. So we got to see what the fuck is going on with Arman. Another factor that plays into Arman's favor, he doesn't really have a neck. His neck is really, really short, and he's very, very stubby, and his limbs are very, very short. So it's kind of hard to get a hold of those kind of things because he doesn't have much of them to hold on to anyway, which I guess it helps. It really helps. His compact frame might actually help. It's hard to submit a guy who doesn't have much of anything to submit. Like, no neck, arms are short, legs are fucking, I don't know. Maybe. I feel like this is a very, very 50-50 fight, but if I'm going to lean towards anybody in this fight, I'm going to lean towards Charles Oliveira because I feel like Arman Tsarukyan might make the mistake of coming into this fight like he comes into every other fight, and he seems to be kind of brushing Charles Oliveira off. He's like, oh yeah, he only has a good back mount, and Charles Oliveira is a present. I'm going to eat him alive bit by bit. Or maybe he does go out there and finish Charles Oliveira because he does have power on the feet, and Charles Oliveira's defense is not very good. He does get rocked in almost every other fight, but I feel like I'm still going to lean towards Charlie Olives, but I wouldn't be surprised if Arman Tsarukyan got the finish. And honestly, what's funny? I feel like this fight may go decision. So with that being said, man, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what y'all want to see next, and let me know what y'all think about this fight.